He's very nice, very evil, but do we know anything else except that? Well, we did some research to find out some more info about All Elite Wrestling's Danhausen. Number 10. He's an icon. There's a difference between being a good wrestler and being an icon. You can be great inside the ropes and still get ignored by wrestling fans. As good as in-ring ability might be, fans want fascinating characters to invest in. And that's exactly what Danhausen is. Here are some crazy facts to prove that he's an icon. He has his own comic book, which includes Warhorse. Yeah, this guy that challenged Cody Rhodes for the TNT title on Dynamite. Anyway, Danhausen is also Coffeehausen. After watching Danhausen in a show, we'll talk about this later, a coffee entrepreneur invited Danhausen to talk business, and, voila, Danhausen Coffeehausen, which sold out in a day. And wait until you hear the next one. Number 9. Top merch seller. Everything that features Danhausen goes viral, hopefully this video too. Besides his coffee and comic book, Danhausen was also the top 2021 merch seller for pro wrestling tees, outside of All Elite Wrestling stars. If we include All Elite wrestlers like Kenny Omega and CM Punk, he's still very high at spot number 6. Number 8. He almost gave up. As I'm doing these fact videos, I've realized that almost every wrestler has thought of quitting at some point. Pro wrestling is a cruel business and most people never make it to the big leagues. Danhausen almost quit wrestling, as he revealed on an interview with Chris Van Vliet. He was just a guy with tattoos who was solid in the ring, but this wasn't enough to give him the success he wanted. He appeared as Donovan Danger, because a promoter thought that Danhausen isn't that catchy. He had also wrestled under the name Kid Gorgeous. Anyway, all of that changed when he created the Danhausen we know today and he was catapulted into bigger and bigger shows. Number 7. Some real stats and relationship status. Danhausen claims to be 6 feet 7 inches tall and over 300 pounds, and he's also billed from a place far away. But what about his real height, weight and hometown? He's 5 feet 10 inches tall and 180 pounds, or 178 centimeters and 82 kilos for my European brothers. He was born in August 1990, which means he's almost 32 years old. His hometown is Detroit, Michigan. He debuted in 2013 and was trained by Jimmy Jacobs and Truth Martini. Danhausen is actually his real name. Donovan Danhausen is also married. That's right, Lauren Giles fell under his spell in 2018. They seem like a very happy couple, but things haven't always been that way. There was a time when Lauren needed to do a surgery for a dental problem that caused her lots of pain. Their insurance did not cover for it, and coupled with the quarantines, which left the couple without a job, they resorted to GoFundMe. Luckily they gathered the sum, and now they've left all of this behind them. Number 6. Unexpected support. Some people love All Elite Wrestling, others think it's okay and others hate it. Jim Cornette definitely falls under the last category. He has been critical of so many wrestlers and moves and storylines, I don't even know where to begin. He hates the overuse of high-flying moves and he thinks it's outlaw and other words that I'm not going to mention. However, there's one guy that he actually likes. Okay, maybe more than one guy since he has also praised guys like Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, but Corny also likes Danhausen. You know you're good when even the biggest hater of the company you work for speaks highly of you. Number 5. The past is orange. All Elite Wrestling gives us some of the dream matches we wanted, and if they haven't yet, they'll probably happen in the near future. But almost all of these wrestlers have clashed on the indies years ago. Danhausen and Orange Cassidy are one example. The two were both a tag team and rivals. I'd love to see this again on a bigger stage like Dynamite or Rampage. Number 4. His YouTube channel. YouTube has provided a platform to all wrestlers and many have taken advantage of it, including Thunder Rosa, Sammy Guevara, The Elite, and today's star, Danhausen. Danhausen is pretty big on YouTube as he recently surpassed 100,000 subscribers. His content is mostly in vlog format, and his most viewed video has a thumbnail with John Cena. It took me a minute to notice him, cause you know, we can't see him, but once I did, I actually clicked on it and was highly entertained. Danhausen always appears in character with makeup and everything. I actually love what Danhausen and MJF are doing. Sure, we all know that wrestling is scripted, but I think being always in character helps me suspend my disbelief more easily and enjoy the shows more. Danhausen is also a notorious toy figure collector and he often showcases it on YouTube. He has everything from Marvel figures to Batman to pro wrestling, with his favorites being CM Punk and Kane. Danhausen also cooks sometimes on his YouTube and Patreon. Very nice, very tasty? Who knows? Anyway, let's jump into number 3. Before the Danhausen of today. Okay, we talked about the no-face Painthausen, but did he instantly transformed into today's look? Actually no. The first versions of Danhausen were more into the horror sphere. The character was initially destined to be a monstrous zero-comedy heel, before turning into the Danhausen we all love today. Extra fact, Danhausen used to be a drummer and a nurse before deciding to pursue a career in pro wrestling. As good as a wrestler he might be, I believe he would be an even better nurse. He would curse the viruses out of your system and voila, gone. Number 2. Very nice, very Neville. Where did Danhausen get the inspiration for his finisher? Was it Kenta or CM Punk? It was Punk, who not only inspired his finisher, he also reignited his love for pro wrestling. Danhausen had fallen out of love with wrestling and especially WWE, until CM Punk and his straight-edge society made it cool again for him. Punk and Danhausen are very close behind the cameras too, often tweeting at each other, and Punk has also appeared on Danhausen's vlogs. Could it mean the formation of Punkhausen in the future? I don't know why, but this sounds oddly satisfying. Anyway, another thing that Danhausen is notorious for, is his tooth jar. Don't try to read more into it, it's exactly what the name suggests, a jar filled with teeth. Sometimes he pours them into his opponent's mouth before hitting his finisher. He figured out that he can't be disqualified for putting teeth into his opponent's mouths, since they already have teeth. Very evil indeed. What's interesting is that inside the jar there's a special tooth. That tooth belongs to David Arquette and he gifted it to Danhausen. David never ceases to amaze me. Anyway, let's jump into number 1. Conan O'Brien. Danhausen is a huge Conan O'Brien fan. He has actually described his on-screen character as a demon-possessed Conan O'Brien, and he said all this on Conan's podcast. That's actually one of the few times where Danhausen is out of character. Conan appeared to have lots of fun and in the end, he loved that Danhausen. Of course, who doesn't? Let's see some of his best BTE scenes.
Hey, are you guys happy now? He's on the show.
Could you spin? He's not it. I don't like it. I don't like this guy.
It's very aggressive.
I think we should take people away and not add.
Right.
Yes, you just add Danhausen right here. Be good.
I don't think we ran this by Okada. All right.
Yeah,
Where's my phone?